Hello, my name is Glenn Dyer, and you are watching a Dyer-Situation. Today I'm seeing Birth of the Dragon. It's a movie about Bruce Lee. That's literally all I know. It's a movie about Bruce Lee. I actually have no idea if it's set in the Enter the Dragon universe, or if it's, like, a point in Bruce Lee's life, or anything. I just know it's something to do with Bruce Lee. Obviously, it does not star Bruce Lee. He's been dead for many decades, but, yeah, he led an interesting life. So if this is like a biography movie, this could be cool. I personally have never actually seen a Bruce Lee film, I have to admit. It's on my list. It's on my list of things to get to one day, but, I don't know. I'm not much of an action person, just in general. I prefer comedy, like good comedy, and horror. Horror normally turns out to be comedy. Normally better comedy than comedies, but yeah, nonetheless, I've never been that much of an action person, so it's not something I seek out too much. But, yeah, I hope this movie's good. Poster looks awesome. Let's see it. And I'm back. That was pretty good. Pretty good. I liked it. But, I have some questions. For instance, I think it's a very strange, very unique, but very strange idea. This movie is supposed to... I figured this movie was about Bruce Lee, right? And it is, kind of. But Bruce Lee isn't the protagonist. Like, he's not the main character. And, in fact, Bruce Lee, for most of the film, is an antagonist. Like, not the main villain, of course, but, like, he's a secondary antagonist. He's selfish, arrogant, he just wants to fight people for no particular reason. He has, like, no discipline, and just, like, like, you get the idea that he's on, like, a bad road or something, and it's like, what? It's a very odd idea. So yeah, of course, this movie is set in real life. Apparently, it's based on like an encounter Bruce Lee had like way before he shot the movies that made him famous, where like this other kung fu master came to the U.S. and apparently there was a fight between them. But yeah, in the movie, the guy came down to atone for something awful he did. Like he let his rage control him, and he did something terrible. And he is a respectable guy. He's well learned. He knows what he's doing, and he's like, he objects to Bruce Lee simply because he doesn't seem to be teaching like the enlightened spiritual side of kung fu, which honestly, that's a good point. And, yeah, and even, like, the fight itself, like, Bruce Lee is the one that challenges him. This is the thing that annoys me in the opening scene when they're describing, like, the real situation. They said Bruce Lee was challenged to a fight with this kung fu master or something. But Bruce Lee challenged him in the movie. He challenged him pretty outright. Like, it was in a theater full of people after Bruce Lee beat up this karate champion. And it was like, I'll fight you! Or, he did it in his Bruce Lee voice. I will fight you! I can't do Bruce Lee very well, but it's like, very odd! The movie does not elaborate that much on Bruce Lee's past, except for, like, dialogue. And in fact, most of the time we're following around one of his students. One of his students is honestly probably the protagonist. very odd. And the student like tries to learn stuff from Wang. That's the name of the kung fu master. He's like learning the spiritual stuff from Wang and stuff, and he's growing. And then his girlfriend is in trouble with the these like what was it called, like these Chinese like slave holders, kind of human traffickers who have brought a bunch of Chinese women over and are basically having them forced into indentured servitude forever, working in a restaurant or as prostitutes. But yeah, his girlfriend's in there and he wants to save her and the rest of them. And so he has like a goal he wants to accomplish and stuff. And that's another problem the movie has. Tone. I'd say 90, maybe 85% of the movie is very straight serious. Like, you know, Bruce Lee, of course, is a little jokey and stuff. He says like quips to people, like, but he's no Tony Stark. But you know, he has like Bruce Lee-ish sayings that he does. But you know, the movie's still pretty serious in tone. Wang is straight-faced the whole time. You know, the problem that our main character has, I forget his name, but like his problem is very serious and he wants to solve it. Even this fight that's built up, and damn, it's a really well choreographed fight, I'll give him that. Like, it's also played super serious. Like, people learn things in there and they grow as characters and stuff. It's, you know, very elaborate, very beautiful. But then during the last, I'd say 15 minutes, suddenly it's like an Avengers movie. Like, Bruce Lee and Wang team up to take down the human traffickers single-handedly, and they're doing it like an event, like Avengers would, where they're just cracking wise the whole time and like defeating all these dudes easily, like they're putties, and it's what? It felt so out of place. I mean, it was fun, but what? Oh, Jesus. And you know, like, Bruce Lee uses his 1-inch punch on this guy, and he's like, 1-inch punch! And Wang says, you should teach that to me someday. I'm like, wasn't this the movie where you... Earlier in this movie, didn't you have, like, a heartfelt conversation about how you killed someone, or, like, brutally injured someone? Like, why are... Jesus Christ. Yeah. Movie got issues, is what I'm trying to get at. But, if you really like Bruce Lee, and, you know, maybe even if you don't, if you just want to see something that's kind of laid back, I don't know, it's hard for me to recommend it just because in the areas it does succeed, it doesn't succeed very well. Like, there is that super well choreographed fight scene, that's for sure, but there's only one around the climax. I guess there's like a second one where they're doing the Avengers stuff and they have another fight scene, but like it's like nothing compared to the other one. So I don't know if I can just recommend it if you want a straight action film. Probably can't recommend it if you want a straight biography film. There's not much in there. And, you know, even though I did say if you're a Bruce Lee fan, he's treated as an antagonist for most of the movie. He's an obstacle to our protagonist. It's crazy. I don't know what to make of it. You know what, I don't know, man. You've heard what I said. If it sounds good to you, watch it. I don't even know who to recommend it to today. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. So until next time, I'm Glenn Dyer, and you have been watching a Dyer Situation.